this on agenda that forms the crucial part, and particularly the bilaterals that the two nations are going to be inking today. But overall, what is expected today?
Well, it's going to be a jam-packed schedule for the Prime Minister, Sakal. In fact, as we speak, the Prime Minister is expected to leave anytime soon for the Parliament of Singapore, where he will be meeting the leaders of Singapore. Then after that, there is also a meeting scheduled with the business leader. There will be a round table. Prime Minister is expected to visit semiconductor plants, and industry leaders they will be meeting the Prime Minister as far as India's own push of making India a manufacturing hub for semiconductors is concerned. There is also going to be other bilateral engagements with business leaders in several fields: the digitization, connectivity, health, skilling of workforce is on the agenda. So as far as the two countries are concerned, as we have seen that they have regularly engaged with each other. They have developed a new mechanics to meet on regular basis. That is called the India-Singapore Ministerial Roundtable that in fact took place a few weeks back, and that involved 4 ministers from Indian side and 6 ministers from Singaporean side. So there is a lot of enthusiasm, not just in Indian diaspora that is living here in Singapore, but also among the business industry to have a higher collaboration with their Indian partners, as well as other opportunities that they may get as far as the Government of India's efforts to bring the two countries closer are concerned. So it's going to be a tight schedule for the Prime Minister. Meeting after meeting are going to take place, and Prime Minister, as we have seen him on these kind of bilateral visits, Prime Minister will be making most of his time in engaging with the leaders at the political level, along with the business level as well.
Singapore has been a crucial factor as far as India's Act East policy is concerned, and also very significant when the ASEAN narrative, our own regional narratives, and then your relationship with ASEAN is concerned. This is Prime Minister Modi's first in his third historical term, and also holds true for the Singaporean counterpart. In that sense of term, remember the MEA said that this relationship is all set to take the ties to the next level. So in that sense, Akshay, what is really on expected lines in broader spectrum of India-Singapore ties?
Well, the two countries are, in fact, maritime powers. If you look at India, in the Indian Ocean region, and we look at Singapore, that is, in fact, a city-state, but a very crucial port as well. In fact, one of the most developed ones, which in the ASEAN region, in the Southeast Asia region as well, one of the largest port. And that is something that India is also looking to learn from. The smart city projects that are going on in India have a lot to learn from the way Singapore has managed the city as far as public transportation is concerned, garbage disposal. So it's very interesting, Sakal, that Singapore is using most of its garbage that the city is producing to, in fact, further its land. So they are processing this garbage and, in fact, using it to enhance its own territory at the maritime borders. So that is providing more opportunity for the Singaporean government to expand further towards the oceans, towards the south. So that is one aspect which is quite interesting. Semiconductors is the biggest agenda today. India, in fact, is looking at partnering with friendly nations on this aspect. Singapore has an experience of 56 years. That's not a small experience. Over 5 decades of working on semiconductors. Today, semiconductors are the building blocks of the technology as we know it. Almost everything from cameras to this mic that I'm holding to almost everything, cell phones, automobiles, everything depends on semiconductors. Singapore is a leader. About 10% of the GDP of Singapore depends on semiconductor industry, and that is something India is looking at partnering with. So that is the business, business level talks that are going to take place. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is himself expected to visit certain semiconductor plants. Then at the political level, you rightly mentioned that the two leaders hold a special bond. In fact, Lawrence Wong has taken over as the Prime Minister of Singapore on May 15 this year. Prime Minister Narendra Modi started his historic third tenure shortly after in the month of June. As far as this meeting is concerned, it is taking, Prime Minister's Singapore visit is concerned, taking place after 6 years. The last visit took place in 2018. And, reminding our viewers that the first 4 visits of Prime Minister Narendra Modi after he took over office took place in his first tenure. There was a gap of about 6 years, and now
Yes.
this visit has once again rejuvenated the ties between the two countries that also hold a very special cultural bond as well.
You spoke about the cultural bond, and the India-Singapore relationship also has a very important dimension when it comes to the Indian diaspora there, particularly Akshay, you would agree the exponential increase that we have witnessed in the last 7-8 years or so. There's a huge chunk of IIM and IITs alumni who have made Singapore their home, and in that sense, the Indian diaspora, we've seen how Prime Minister Modi was given a rousing welcome yesterday, but Indian diaspora in the bilateral relationship, important?
Well, absolutely. In fact, it is the soft power of India that has, fostered the relations between the two countries. So now we are looking at several dimensions of this soft power. One of the 4 official languages of Singapore is Tamil. That's an Indian language. Then we are talking about a chain of restaurants and eateries that have opened up, cropped up, and are quite hugely successful, not just among the Indian diaspora, but also among the Chinese origin people that are living here, the Filipinos, the